Good evening. First tonight, there's been a steep increase in knife crime recorded by our local police forces. New official figures show there were more than 1,600 offences in a single year across Derbyshire, Leicestershire and Nottinghamshire, a rise of almost 25%.
Well, tonight we have an exclusive interview with Nottingham's new knife crime coordinator and a heartfelt plea from a young dad whose friend was stabbed to death. Our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball reports.
Kids are just walking around with knives thinking it's the cool...
If you want to know how knives destroy lives, come and talk to Buzzrock here at Saffron Lane in Leicester. As a teenager, he carried a blade for protection, but now looking back, he's horrified.
It affected me like my friend Isaac when he lost his life. It was sad because he had so much potential of being a good boxer, you know what I'm saying? And he had so much ahead of him, and he died before his 21st birthday. That's what hurt me the most. He didn't even make it to 21. Guys that I was friends with, one's no longer here, one's here, but I can't see him. He's incarcerated right now.
When you look back at your former self, what do you think now?
What was I trying to prove? Who was I trying to prove? I used to think if I didn't carry one, I'm not safe. If someone tries to stab me, it's over. It's a wrap. I'm done. I'm dead. My mum's not going to see me again.
New official figures show the police saw a sharp rise in knife crime in the last financial year. 403 knife offences were recorded by the Derbyshire force. There were 496 in Leicestershire and 750 knife crimes recorded by Nottinghamshire police. There they say it's partly because there's a dedicated knife crime team that's catching more of the perpetrators. And Simon Firth's about to start work as Nottinghamshire's first knife crime coordinator.
Policing isn't the solution to this issue. The solution is within all of us. It's around education, it's around families. We have had 12 and 13-year-old children found with knives in their bags at school. Young children who feel that somehow, often because of maybe bullying or isolation at school, that they need to carry a knife for their own protection, and that is just wrong.
But those knives aren't hard to get hold of, so suspects are still going to be stopped and searched. And one youth worker back in Leicester thinks for some, carrying knives has become almost routine.
Young people seem to think it's normal. When they come to me to do the activities where we're inside, they know not to bring the knives inside. But I know that there's an issue because the young people know who carries the knife, and they'll say, oh, they throw it in the undergrowth, so I won't find the knife on them.
The ones that do carry knives, I do try and tell them, like, do you really want to risk it? That's the only thing I say to them. Do you want to risk it all? And then, like, do you want to go sit in prison for life? Because that's the only thing. You're going to end up dead or in jail.
It's a heartfelt plea to the next generation. Learn from our mistakes.
Well, let's speak to Jeremy now. He's at the Victoria Centre in Nottingham, where the latest incident of knife crime took place just yesterday, I think. So Jeremy, what happened?
Well, Dominic, this all happened around one of the car parks here at the Victoria Centre around 4:30 yesterday afternoon. Now, the police say 10 to 15 people wearing masks were involved in this disturbance. They've arrested one 19-year-old on suspicion of grievous bodily harm and possession of an offensive weapon. And they say another lad, a 17-year-old, had to be treated in hospital.
We heard in your report, Jeremy, from the new Nottinghamshire knife crime coordinator. Do you think that initiative is going to make any difference to knife crime?
Well, it's not a silver bullet, of course, but Simon Firth thinks it can make a difference for a number of reasons. Now, first of all, he says, look, they can really target the people to best spread this message by looking across all the groups involved in this and getting that message across more effectively. The second thing is he wants to look at what's happening in other parts of the country, and particularly what's worked in Scotland, where there's been a huge reduction in knife crime, and that's been after they changed their approach, really, to look at it more as a sort of as tackling an infectious disease, the way you do that, rather than tackling individual crimes.
And what are the police here saying about this rise in knife crime?
They make a couple of points. First of all, they say the increase might not be as bad as it appears because they're actually recording knife crime better these days. Second point is they're doing a lot of work, all the forces, with community projects like the one we heard about in Saffron Lane. Derbyshire police say they've got something called Operation Zow that's now on course to reduce the next set of knife crime figures. And next week expect to hear more about this, something called Operation Sceptre. That's happening nationally.
OK, Jeremy Ball, thank you.